from the coast, we head back to Naivasha where we started. And as I mentioned, we have Bridget Ngana on location. Senators and members of parliament are were set to meet President Uhuru Kenyatta and opposition leader, or should I say ODM party leader, Raila Odinga on the building bridges report. The senators have voiced reservations over the failure to strengthen the House and make it the upper house. Bridget, has the president arrived? Has Raila Odinga arrived? And what do we expect to come out of this meeting?
Well, from the ground or from our observation is that we have seen a very, very encouraging attendance from members of the National Assembly. These are members of Parliament and the House of Senate. They are here, they're just coming in, walking in, trickling in, registering for this two-day meeting that is expected to be the climax. The climax of it is when the President, Uhuru Kenyatta, and the former Prime Minister Raila Odinga are supposed to address the members of Parliament. There are issues that are emerging from the BBI report. They're trying to firm up support to, on the proposals to amend the Constitution. And most importantly, the House of Senate has really been vocal in trying to lobby for more powers. And I'm joined on set by the Homa Bay Senator Kajwang just to give us a feel of what they expect to generate or come out of this meeting with the President and also the Right Honourable Raila Odinga. Welcome on NTV.
Thank you. Well, we are here to look at the proposed constitutional and legislative changes that have been generated by the BBI task force. You know, this process has three stages. There is a stage where county assemblies would consider the constitutional bill. There is another stage where Parliament would consider the constitutional bill and the statutory amendments. And then there is a third phase where Kenyans themselves will interrogate the proposals and vote for them in a referendum. This meeting today is to ensure that when we go back to Parliament, we are of the same view, and we are also able to harmonize certain sections of the proposals that we think could be contentious. On the issue of the legislature, we think that the proposals that have been put forth are fairly good, but there needs to be some fine-tuning. There needs to be some proper legislative drafting to ensure that there is no confusion. For example, the relationship between the Senate and the National Assembly, we believe that Article 110 needs further explanation, or it needs to be expanded further to ensure that the two houses work in harmony, of which house is our house. Kenyans expect Parliament, which is by coming, to perform and to deliver to citizens irrespective of who is upper and who is lower. So we just want to ensure that the relationship between the two houses is clearly defined in the constitutional changes. But generally, we believe that BBI is good for the economy, and it's also good for national unity.
Okay. The Senate Chief Whip, Irungu Kangata, mentioned that this is government, members of Parliament or members of the National Assembly. Do you feel that maybe it's just selectively for them to just support this BBI report, or it's going to be all-inclusive even for those who have questions about it?
I would have loved a situation where the entire Parliament is invited into this conversation, because when the matter comes to a vote, everybody, whether they love the government or not, will be required to take a vote on it. Consensus building should aim at bringing everyone on the table rather than people who are already converted. To the choir or to preach to the converted. So I hope, and I've seen there's a long list of members who have been invited. I hope that we have invited people of different political shades and different opinions.
Okay. The presence of the President and the Right Honourable Raila Odinga, what does this mean maybe even as you kick off deliberations on what each House of Parliament would like to see executed or amended in this report?
I love the leadership that the President and the Prime Minister have given to this exercise. Remember, it was a handshake that the two negotiated that has given rise to the BBI task force and the BBI report. This is their child, and so naturally we expect them to be present, and we expect them to give us the context within which these proposed changes are going to be done. Everything, even in organizational theory or even in political theory, leadership is the most important attribute. As we say, the fish begins to rot from the head. And so when you see the commitment of the President and the Prime Minister, two people who represent almost 90% of Kenya's adult population, holding hands and coming together to speak about inclusivity and to speak about an economic revolution, this is a good sign. And I do hope that out of this meeting, we are going to resolve any contentious issues so that we have an uncontested referendum.
Is this fair to have an uncontested referendum, or what is really the purpose behind this? Is to have a collective, united form that we would not even need to have maybe a referendum that is against or pro this the recommendations of the BBI report?
Well, an uncontested referendum simply means that all political players are agreeing on the issues that are being put before the people. Remember, a referendum, by its nature, a vote must be taken. There must be a yes or no that is taken to the Kenyan population. So in as much as we are talking about an uncontested referendum, we're just talking about the political players agreeing that the changes that we are putting forth are the right changes that we should prioritize for an economic revival and for inclusivity and to ensure that our boys and girls, our brothers and sisters get jobs.
Thank you so much. I'm going to be joined on set also by another member of the National Assembly. Thank you. Welcome so much. And just tell us the importance of you being here and the importance of this meeting as regards to the reforms being proposed on the BBI report. Your name, please.
I'm Dr. Pamela Odhiambo, Women Representative, Migori County, a member of the National Assembly. I think today's meeting is very important. As you are aware, BBI is not about force, it is not about coercion. BBI is about dialogue, bringing Kenyans together, beginning with us, the leaders, and everybody else. And so today, you are aware of the proposals that have been made in the document that was just released recently concerning constitutional amendments. So us as legislators here, we have just come together to dialogue upon this and see those changes, do further consultations and discussions on them, and come up with the best way forward for our nation and for our people. My being here as a representative of Migori County is very, very critical because I think I'm here to voice the interest of Migori County. And so even when we are talking about those multiple constituencies, I know of some of my constituencies in Migori County which are very vast and those also highly populated, and managing them through an MP is just difficult. So I think I would be here to represent that. We've gone through that document and some of the issues that are there to raise, we will raise them here and discuss and agree as leaders. And I think it is critical that we come to some consensus, some agreement. We don't hope to have any disagreement per se. I think BBI, in the interest of the principle of inclusivity, is a document, or rather a call, that is calling upon all Kenyans and leaders and non-leaders alike to air their views freely without intimidation. Where somebody is thinking something has been done in the past which is infringing on any rights of any Kenyan, we need to hear that and we need to bring it to the table and we need to consult together and agree. I think this is what I want to say, and on behalf of the women folk, I think I'm again rightfully here because we are very interested in what does this have for the women, what as a representative of the youth, what is here for the youth, as a representative of the persons with disability, what is here for the persons of disability in the entire nation. This is what we are here for. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I believe when you hand the mic over to a member of parliament, they do have extensive views that would like to be heard, especially by their constituents and the country at large. But those are some of the emerging issues coming out of this expected meeting that is going to be chaired sometime tomorrow by the President Uhuru Kenyatta and the Right Honorable Raila Odinga. And it is expected to build consensus in the Senate and in the National Assembly towards approving this BBI report and also the recommendations. There is a feeling on the ground that those who are here are just pro-government legislators, and we do expect to keep an eye out to see if there would be varied presence from people who are deemed not to support this document within both houses of parliament. But this is something that is a developing story, and we'll be giving you detailed reports in our subsequent bulletins.